أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وأفضل الصلاة وأتم التسليم على رسوله الكريم وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين وعلى أصحابه الغر الميامين ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين اللهم اجعلنا منهم اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما وعملا متقبلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. We begin, as we always do, by first and foremost praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, thanking Him, acknowledging that He is the only one worthy and deserving of all praise and thanks. And we ask Him to shower His most complete and abundant blessings and protection upon His noble Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, upon His noble family, His shining companions, and upon all of those that follow them until the end of time. And we ask Allah to include us from among them. We ask Allah to teach us what will benefit us, to benefit us through what He has taught us, and to increase us in knowledge and accepted actions. Ameen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Welcome to IOK's 30 and 30 Journey Through Surah Al-Mulk series. Today we are covering verse number 19. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم أولم يروا إلى الطير فوقهم صافات ويقبضن ما يمسكهن إلا الرحمن إنه بكل شيء بصير. Again, أولم يروا إلى الطير فوقهم صافات ويقبضن ما يمسكهن إلا الرحمن إنه بكل شيء بصير. Do they not see the birds above them expanding and contracting their wings? None holds them up except the Most Merciful. Surely He is all-seeing of everything. At this point in the surah, we are now shifting back to Allah's descriptions of His magnificent creations. He talked about creating life and death, creating 7 heavens in layers, creating stars in the sky, creating the earth. And with each of these creations, there is perfection, majesty, and might. We are now coming to the next creation Allah is detailing for us. And through this creation and its description, we learn something else, something new about who Allah is. We learn something new about Allah's Mulk, His dominion. In this verse, Allah is encouraging us to look up at the birds flying above us. Just one of the many commands we find in the Quran of Allah telling us to look at the world around us and the creation in it. Allah is encouraging us to look at the birds flying above us, and He describes their manner of flight. They expand their wings and they contract their wings. This movement of flapping creates flight, a constant cycle of expansion and contraction. Allah then tells us there is nothing, absolutely nothing and no one that holds up these birds except Allah, except Ar-Rahman, the most merciful. What does this teach us about Allah and His Mulk? It teaches us that Allah is actively involved in running the universe. He is actively working in His Mulk. He did not just create everything and then leave. There is a theory in philosophy called the Clockmaker Theory. This theory asserts that God created the universe but is not actively involved in its operation. Just as a clockmaker makes a clock, and then the clock operates independently of its maker. When someone makes a clock, they make the design, they put together the pieces, they set up the function. But once that clock is made, the clockmaker is no longer needed. The clock will continue to function, perfectly normal and just fine, and the clockmaker is no longer involved in the constant functioning of that clock. This is how some philosophers view God. They claim that, yes, there is a God. Yes, this God did create the universe, but He just created it and then left. He is not involved in the day-to-day operations. The universe functions on its own. After the creation of the universe, the creator is no longer needed for the universe to function. A'udhu billah. This theory, the Clockmaker Theory, is in direct contradiction to what we believe about Allah as Muslims, and our verse for today proves that. As Muslims, we believe that Allah is deeply, intricately involved in every single aspect of the universe's functioning. Allah did not simply create His mulk and then leave. Rather, Allah's mulk, His dominion, the universe, all that's in existence, cannot survive, cannot last for even a fraction of a second without Allah's management and involvement. We need Allah for every single breath we take. Nothing can happen except without Allah being the cause and source of that occurrence. Allah here is giving us a visual example of His constant, non-stop management and involvement in the universe. The birds. We have all seen birds before. We have all seen them fly. The way birds fly is so elegant, so graceful, so seamless and effortless. Yes, the birds, they put in the work of expanding and contracting their wings to create flight, as this verse tells us, but they are not the ones holding themselves up. They put in the effort, but they have no control over the outcome. Allah is the one who holds them up in the air, keeps them suspended in the sky. There may be birds that expand and contract their wings, but no matter how much they do it, they can't fly. No matter how much they flap their wings, they cannot stay up and suspended in the air. Allah is the one who is allowing their flapping to do anything. And in this is a huge lesson for all of us. Our job is to put in the effort, and the outcome, the result, it's completely left to Allah. In this verse, Allah tells us, first, that the birds expand and contract their wings. They are putting in the effort. They are doing what they can to achieve what they want to do. But at the end of the day, the only real reason that those birds are able to actually fly is Allah. Similar deal with human beings. When we want to do something, when we want to achieve something, we have to put in the effort. We cannot sit around doing nothing and say, Allah is going to handle it all. We have to put in the effort. We have to invest the work. But the result, the outcome of that work and effort is completely Allah. The result of our work is not because of our own efforts, rather it is because of Allah. That is why you have people that put in the same amount of work and effort to achieve a certain goal, and some are successful and some are not. Some birds may flap just as long and hard as others, but some of them will fly and some of them will not. Another point to appreciate in what this verse is teaching us about Allah is giving us a deeper understanding of Allah's divine names, Al-Hayy and Al-Qayyum, and His description that لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم. Well-known descriptions of Allah that are detailed for us in Ayatul Kursi, which is verse number 255 in Surah Al-Baqarah. Allah tells us that He is Al-Hayy and Al-Qayyum, the ever-living and the all-sustaining. These two qualities go hand in hand. The two qualities of Allah that directly contradict the Clockmaker Theory. Allah has life. He is always there. Allah never ceases to exist. And with that constant, perpetual, never-ending life, Allah constantly and perpetually manages and sustains the universe and everything that's in existence. He is always continually sustaining all that is in existence. لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم. Neither drowsiness nor sleep overtakes Him, meaning there is never a break in Allah's management and sustainment of the universe, His management of His mulk. It is continually, constantly taking place. Not even a fraction of a second break, because as we stated earlier, nothing can exist for even a fraction of a second without Allah's sustainment. This verse, by encouraging us to ponder and reflect upon the birds above us, teaches us that 1, Allah is intimately involved in the management and sustainment of His mulk. 2, we have to put in the work, we have to put in the effort, but the outcome and result is left to Allah. And 3, Allah never takes a break. His management and sustainment of the universe is constant. May Allah help us to learn more about Him and grow closer to Him. Ameen. So again, our verse for today is أَوَلَمْ يَرَوْا إِلَى الطَّيْرِ فَوْقَهُمْ صَافَّاتٍ وَيَقْبِضْنَ مَا يُمْسِكُهُنَّ إِلَّا الرَّحْمَنُ إِنَّهُ بِكُلِّ شَيْءٍ بَصِيرٌ. Do they not see the birds above them, expanding and contracting their wings? None holds them up except the Most Merciful. Surely He is all-seeing of everything. وصلى اللهم على خير خلقك محمد والحمد لله رب العالمين والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله.